Good morning. Hi and welcome. So I've slept. I'm back up again, and I'm working on the location cards. So just to give you some context here, in the game, so there's going to be location cards. There are, I hope, going to be approximately A5 sized, so you can see on the screen here. And these cards are going to represent the different locations that you and your characters can, or your characters, not you, your characters can visit throughout the course of the game. So they're going to have some artwork on them, and they're going to have information about that location. And then you'll also have these like smaller cards that you can then put onto them to show different state changes. For sometimes you might also just switch the locations out if something massive happens. But yeah, I'm just working through the design for that at the moment. If you're interested, I'm using Affinity here, which is now owned by Canva and is completely free. So if you need this kind of design tool, and if you're paying for Adobe, stop. Canva now offer this completely free, and it includes Vector, which is vector stuff. So I don't know what the Adobe tool for that is. I can never remember. Pixel, which is essentially like Photoshop, and then also Layout, which is kind of like a publisher designer. Canva AI is the only thing you have to pay for. I don't want AI, so I don't pay for it. Boom. So here we go. I'm fairly new to this, so watch me grope around in the dark is the thing here. But let's nonetheless work through it. So this is going to be the location card. So what we need to do is we need to have a image frame. It's worth saying as well. So just for the purpose of getting this set up and tested, I'm going to be using like placeholder images. I'm using Pixabay. If you don't know Pixabay, it is a royalty-free site where people can publish images, photos, music, all that sort of thing on there, and it's completely royalty-free. You are, by definition, on Pixabay, allowed to download and use it for anything you like. The licensing is specific on it, but broadly speaking, it includes commercial licensing and so forth as well. So I'm going to use stuff from Pixabay that I can just put on here. I'm not going to be using that artwork. I'm going to paint my own, but for the purpose of like just building out the card and figuring out what looks good, that makes an awful lot of sense to me. One thing to be a little bit careful with though is Pixabay, is that the music, I've tried using that before for YouTube, and despite the fact that it is explicitly royalty free and license free, YouTube has flagged it before as licensed. And so just be a little bit careful if you need anything like that for your YouTube stuff, because it might not be what you expect. And just to show you here, look, this is Pixabay. You see that I've logged into my account here. This is all good to use and free to use under the Pixabay content license. You can go in there and see it. So perfect for what I need at the moment. So this location is going to be a guest house. So download the image. Plop that in there. That'll be fine for the time being. We can zoom in and out in Affinity. It's quite a nice little system. I think so far, so I'm not terribly experienced at using things like Adobe, but I've done it a bit. And so far, the experience with Affinity has been much smoother. It feels like a much more modern piece of software. So, photo. Whereas I always found Designer to be a really fiddly, difficult piece of software to use. Definitely feels like they've done a good job with this. So, shout out to them. So, what do we need on here then? So, we want like a name for the location, which I'm thinking we do like a shape at the top. So if we grab this shape tool, we might want to come back and sort of do vectors or something, I guess. But let's just for the moment do something like, I was thinking something a bit like this. And then what was this going to be called? Hapscombe Guest House is the I've done the wrong thing. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to type in there. Right, this is me proving to you that I'm not lying when I say affinity is not really my thing. So this is kind of what I wanted up here. There we are. Now I need to get my color thing back, don't I? Because I've accidentally. Is that window? Window. How do I get that back? What did I press to get rid of that? Oh dear. This is why you don't learn live, right? It's good. It's all good. I think it's good to show our failings and struggles because I don't know about you, but when I used to do stuff like this, I would often see the end product that someone did, and I'd be super impressed by it. But it would also feel like a million miles away. So I am going to suffer and look like a fool, and that is fine. Right. So house can guest house, and I think we can, yeah, do this or this. And then we probably want something that's a bit nicer with the font Arial's a bit meh, isn't it? So I dare say there's probably ways of getting like custom fonts and bits in here, but for the moment, let's just do that and maybe make it 24. See if that works. It's not changing the size, is it? Oh, wait a second, it's because I'm changing the wrong. Feeling a bit special again. Maybe 15 points, good. And I think also what we should do is we do need to get our window back there. One second, I'm gonna have to figure this out because I need that window. Right. What did I do? How did I lose this? I want my list of like. What's this? No, that's not what I want. Those are all hidden. Oh, what happened is I was typing. I was typing, and then in the process of typing, I managed to push like obviously it was a hotkey of some kind. So I'm gonna have to just see if I can figure out what it was. Something I pushed was obviously like go and hide that thing. That's not what I wanted to allow. This might well be a Google. Windows menu, select general layers. Okay. Windows general layers is on. So if I put this in some kind of weird mode, is that what's happened? Because it's not letting me choose any of those. It's saying I'm using a marquee tool here, which is fine. Uh, saying the layers. It's all fine. That's just I don't know. What have I done? What have I done? Back to overview. Um, let's just quickly move from. What I'd hoped it was going to be. it worse. Making it worse. Split view. No. Reset. Oh, now I'm just hitting the toolbar. Right, okay. Ask for help. Ah, there we go. So for future reference, that's how we do that. Right, okay. Never underestimate the ability to just grope around in the dark and figure stuff out. Okay. I was trying to Google online to see what it was. The problem is that the app's recently been taken over in display, and so as a consequence of that, it's like not the same. A lot of the advice is for the old version, and it's very different now. Title text. Card title box. And then let's make that. We'll get some like textures in later as well. I think there's a few ways to do it. I saw a really cool video actually. I can't remember the guy's name, which is a shame because he was really good. He's a guy that worked for Games Workshop doing some of the like not the miniature design, but designing their actual games and also doing some of their product design for like the paper products. I think he's left Games Workshop now. He's got a YouTube channel. It's not tiny, but it's not big. And he talks about his design process, which is one of the things that sort of spurred me on thinking, hey, I think I could do this. And he was the one that actually put me onto Affinity. And he has this suggestion, which is a really good idea, which is to go and like paint textures as transparent PNGs inside Procreate, which I've got on the tablet, and then you can overlay those to make it look much nicer. So that's kind of cool. Right, what we should do is we should probably pick like a color that we're going to stick with, right? So let's do this one. So let's say this is a color here, and then we're going to do the same thing here, just to make this consistent across the map. And then for the title text, for the moment, let's just make that white. This is not a great design, I know. I'm a great believer, though, that build something, even if it's crap, and then we'll come back to like polishing up and making it look good down the road. If we build nothing and worry for getting it perfect, we're probably never going to get very far. So let's do that. So the next thing we need is like a box for flavor text, right? So let's do that. Let's do that there. So 84 as it goes. Make it 36 high. then let's also give it a good border, which we can do up here. If we make this 3, and we can choose the border color. So let's make that like a darker black, like that maybe. So let's make it so 5, 5, 5. And I think we can then do the same thing around the content area as well. So if we make that 3, and then we make the color here 5, 5, 5, that should give us a nice border around everything that sort of unifies the card a bit. And we can even do the same thing on this one here. 3, 5, 5, 5. Cool. Okay. And then what we want to do is add some flavor text into this here. So I've got some text I've written out. I've been using Google Sheets to write up my stuff. You may have had the joy of seeing some of that last night as I was trying to work my way through it. I'll do frame text, that's it. Let's make sure that this is all set properly. So this needs to now go this side. It needs to be at the top, and it needs to be maybe 12 point at most. Let's leave it 10 point. Yeah, let's make it 10 point. I'm going to go with Times New Roman for the moment to see how we go on there. And we'll do something like this. Why is that spreading out? What have I done? Have I? Oh, it's because I put this ridiculous. But that's the default for the time being. Let's italicize this so it looks a bit more. It's kind of a traditional thing to do, isn't it? There. And then also, let's just grey it out just a little bit so the contrast isn't quite so striking. And let's make this center actually. And justify it maybe. Is there a justification? No, there's not. Okay, align left is fine. That's actually there. So yeah, I prefer align left. It's easier to read, isn't it? It always makes me uncomfortable. The line's not being neat, but that's just I need to get over myself and just accept that that's the way it is. Cool. Okay, so that gives us some distance, and then what do we then need? So then in here is going to be the first in counter. So this is a section of the card that's like going to tell you what's there. So let's think about this. So you get to the Hascom Desk House. You meet the woman Muriel, who is the guest house proprietor, the owner. And then you have a little bit of dialogue with her. And yeah, so let's think about this. So let's do frame text tool. What we should probably do is take another rectangle tool. Take that from here to here. And then reduce the X and Y by a few millimeters. So if we say 6. that's kind of our internal text area, right? That we can work with. So we don't actually want that to be a noticeable thing. But what we might do is just use that as a guide. And I think there's probably a way better way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. So we're going to do it this way. So let's do like that to begin with. And I'll just get rid of it one second. What I'm trying to do is I just want to be able to put some text in here, but I want it to line up. I want it to have a bit of border around this. So this just seems like a straightforward way for me to do that. So let's say we want this to be, sorry, so we'll try to justify itself. We want to go line left first. And we want that to be at the top as well, don't we? And we want this to be bold, maybe size 12, because this is the actual text. I know it looks like it's really pushed up, but the idea is that this grayness is the boundary, so we're going to be removing that. It will look like this. There we go. And then we need to make that default. Why is that 30? Why is that making such a big? I don't know. Maybe we can do it like that. I don't know. Let's just do this for a minute. Let's write out what we got. So first visit. Why is it spreading itself that way? Oh, there we go. That's fine. So we want some text here. Yeah, that looks terrible. And then this needs to be default, right? There we are. And then I think it's actually 10, maybe? There we are. That's better. Because remember, you're going to lose this. So the font's wrong though. I really don't like this. But I'm not very good at this, like knowing what to do with these sort of things. So I'm just going to work this out as I go. It's fun though. It's fun. It's going to be a lot of. Some of it's like easier, right? So if I was going to play like a cyberpunk thing or something, it'd be obvious. Like use like that kind of text. But well, that's quite nice actually. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's change this to Frank as well. So what's it called? Frank. Yeah, that's much nicer. Yeah, I like that actually. That's pretty decent. I can live with that. Right, so the door opens before you knock. Earl Hascom fills the frame. White hair pinned up, floral dress, reading glasses on beaded chain. She looks you over with a sharp blue eyes and a warm smile. You'll be with people from the city. I've made up your rooms. Supper's at 7. I don't do late plates. She has opinions, Des, and she'll share them freely if you let her talk. Cool. Probably not the greatest introduction, truth be told, but it will suffice just to get this design down. And then what we want then is, how do we do it? What I want is like an arrow symbol. So I want something like, let's think. I want like this, and then draw. Now, I use symbols like this all the time as vector art for web development. So maybe we could use one of those. So let's go for vector symbols. So a lot of them are open libraries. They're flaticon bits. Here we go. So this is flaticon. Let's close that. So let's try arrow. Ah, here we are. I like the circle there. Maybe that. Yeah, we'll grab that one. Cool. So it's not bad actually. So they're not. They're free with attribution, or the license for them is like £7. So to be honest, I'm just going to pay for a license for them. That seems very reasonable. Though I don't have to like. Because attribution is a bit hard, right, in this context because I have to like then put. I've got my symbols from Platform on the card, which is just a bit uncomfortable. And then let's fill this. So well, I can set the attribution in like the manual bits. I just don't want the cards to have like pointless fluff on them that makes it harder to see if I don't have to. Can we fill this? Can we fill it? Is that working? No. Why is that not working? Fill in editors. Toolbar. How do I get my toolbar back? We're back to this now. I hit it by accident in the process of trying to find the other thing. Learning new things is always an interesting thing, isn't it? It can be frustrating, but also joyous at the same time. So why isn't that working? So that's my first question. Is why is that not working? Because I thought that is a okay. So that's like a gradient fill. Okay, 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 okay. So that's not what I wanted. I want a normal fill. Ah, transparency tool? No, color picker. I mean that text one is pretty cool though. Goodness. And this is really cool though. That not what I need right now, but cool, awesome. So it says click an object to select it. So can I click the PNG? What I want to do is make black red. This can't be that hard. Is it because I'm in like a vector tool? Is it because designer's different to like pixel art? I think I need to go into the other tool. How do I do it? Unfortunately, that's like the thing that I managed to lose up here. 1 second. Let me just have a look at this. Come on, Affinity. Panels. Panel house. Nope, that's not what I need. How does one get the toolbar back? Table point references. Maybe it's view. There you go. Right, okay. Right, so what I was thinking is I might go to Pixel, which is the what do you call it? What's the word for it? Photoshop. It's like the Photoshop version of this. So why can't I paint this thing? I don't understand why I can't paint my arrow. I just want to paint my arrow. Like, colorful arrows. Because I can paint like stuff over it now, right? Yeah, yeah. That's fine. So my best guess is because the arrow is like a vector. It's not, right? Maybe I need to do do the rasterize and trim first? Is that a thing? And can I? Oh, that's made a horrible way. So it is actually. It looks almost like it's gun is like a really high res. Yeah. Okay. Just out of interest, though, that's just so that obviously isn't what I actually want in here because that is a pretty horrible thing. Fill flood tool. Ooh. Okay. 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 There's a I am going to declare that I want that to be black anyway, so it's fine. Just going to leave it now and come back to that when I know what I'm doing because that is very confusing. Cool. Okay. Um, so something like that is kind of what I'm looking for. I think this is roughly right, and then this needs to be italicized, right? And then you think about the other things that we have on here. So if we make that actually go a little bit further in, I'll see that. I quite like it that distancing. So maybe I just need to match that with the other ones. Okay, yeah. Um, and then let's go and have a look for a rest. Icon. We made that 3.9 by 3.9. Why is that? Make it 4f1. Makes it a little bit easier, right? And then we can do the same thing on this one. We can say that's 4 by 4. That gives us a reasonable start, I think, for that. These ones, I think, actually, we could move this down more. So I think what we might do is, yeah, do like that. And then move, oop, not that, move these down. This one down. Just to break the card space up a bit more. So that's essentially what our location card's going to look like. Keep in mind that there's no textures on this. The artwork, as I said, is just like grabbed off Pixabay as a free to use placeholder for the time being. But it gives us a sense, I think, of what what the card's going to look like. And then essentially what you'll do is you'll have cards that can sit on top of this white section here. And they will update. So depending upon the choices that the group makes in the story and the successes and failures of their roles and so forth, different things might happen. Not necessarily to the guest house here, but it might do. So to give you a straightforward example, let's imagine that we have house that the group go to visit, and on the first encounter, they meet some people there. They have a conversation. Then later in the game, something happens, and the house gets burned down. So then we might place like an extra thing over there, and the new things would happen. So this is kind of the idea. So I'm going to save that. I'm also going to export that version as a PNG just for my reference. Cool. Right, and I'm going to call it there. I need to go and carry on doing some more revision for a while now, I'm afraid. I've got an exam in about 5 hours, so I need to crack on just doing my last revision. But this was good to have a little break and do this. And then once I've done that revision and done my exam, I'm probably going to come back and then carry on working through these this afternoon. My plan is, by the end of today, to have the sort of the key components designed, at least in their alpha version, and then to start working on building the decision tree. That I'm going to have to figure out. I'm sure there's going to be some software somewhere that will be helpful for that, because I need to be able to, like, essentially, I suppose I need is a flow chart, right? So there's loads of software for flow charts. So I'm probably going to grab some flow chart software later on and then start building out the flow of different events and how they work. Because the idea here is to give you a boxed game that feels like an RPG. And this is clearly like leaning towards the heritage of things like is it the House on the Hill? There was Arabian Nights, also things like Dark Sector, or the other Escape from games, as well as like choose your own adventure games that I used to love as a kid, and obviously tabletop RPGs. So yeah, the idea is to sort of try and create a shared narrative tabletop experience that is a good kind of way of getting people who might not be at a point where they are comfortable running their own RPG game into the RPG space. And they've got a boxed game that they can get out, they can play through, and it's a self-contained thing. It allows them to engage in a meaningful story and hopefully get a bit of a hook for it and maybe go on to then run some of their own RPGs in a more full-blooded way. I love RPGs, as you can probably tell. So this is not going to be a replacement for RPGs so much as a sort of complementary thing that might be fun if you like tabletop games and RPGs generally, and also for those that might be interested but potentially not at a point where they're comfortable running that for themselves. This might be a nice sort of middle ground. We'll see. We'll see. Regardless, it'll be fun to make, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm looking forward to making it. I'm also actually looking forward to doing like the business side of it, like taking it to the Games Expo and showing it off and seeing if I can get anyone interested. I think that'll be really fun. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Right. Anyway, I need to go do revision, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me once again, and I'm going to continue doing this. I think my streams are all going to be sort of similar to this. It's going to be lots of relatively short runs at the moment as I sort of fit bits of this work in and out of other ones. So yeah, just continuing to sort of